Hey, and welcome to Amanda's Book Corner. I'm Amanda, and this is my book review of The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. So, The Love Hypothesis has been on my radar for most of this year. I can't remember when exactly I first found out about it, but I've been waiting for this book for months and months and months. So, I was super excited when I found out that it was one of the selections for Book of the Month this month in September. The Love Hypothesis is a fake dating romance with an academic setting. It follows Olive, who is a PhD student in biology at Stanford, and her fake boyfriend, Adam, who is a professor in the same department. And don't worry, he's not her professor. It doesn't quite get into that murky territory, but the two do address whether it's actually ethical or allowed for a faculty member to date a student, even if he doesn't directly teach her or advise her or serve on any panels that judge her work. So I noticed right away with the prologue and with chapter 1 that it felt pretty awkward at the beginning. This is maybe just due to Olive herself, but in the prologue she has this awkward conversation with a guy that she can't see because her very expired contacts are making her eyes tear up to the point where she can't see anything. And then in chapter 1 it starts off with her in the hallways of the biology department in Stanford, and she just randomly kisses the first guy she sees, and it happens to be Adam. Now the reason she does this is because she told her best friend Anne that she was in a relationship with someone, that she was on a date with someone, and well, she was lying about that. And when Anne comes into the department, she doesn't think, she just kisses him in hopes that that will prove to her that she was on a date and it went well. So as far as reasons go to fake date someone, the reasons that Olive and Adam have seem a little bit on the flimsy side, at least in my opinion. Although to be fair, I haven't read very many fake dating romances, so maybe this is just normal for that genre. But anyway, from Olive's side, she had previously dated a guy named Jeremy, and she wasn't that into him. They broke up quickly, and now her best friend Anne wants to date Jeremy, but she feels like she can't because, it's kind of not fair to Olive. It's kind of breaking the girl code, whatever you want to call it. So for Olive, she wants to signal to Anne that she's completely moved on from Jeremy, and apparently the only way to prove that is to be in a relationship with someone new. So she wants to fake date Adam so that Anne feels free to pursue a relationship with Jeremy. Kind of silly, but okay. And for Adam's part, he is a faculty member. He's been teaching at Stanford for 6 years. His department sees him as a flight risk. They think he's going to leave Stanford to go somewhere else, and because of that, they've frozen a portion of his research funds. And he wants his research funds unfrozen so he can continue doing important research while he is still at Stanford. So for him, instead of, buying a house or dating someone for real, he pursues this fake dating relationship with Olive as a way to say, hey, I do want to stay in Stanford. Look, I have this reason to stay. Besides Stanford, it is my girlfriend, fake girlfriend. At the beginning, I wasn't entirely feeling this book, and I think part of that is how awkward Olive is and how awkward her interactions with people are, specifically with Adam. But I think part of it was also I was just kind of still hung up on the book I just finished before that. I guess you call it like a book hangover. I don't really use that term, but maybe that was my first book hangover. I don't know. But all I know is I was still so absorbed in the previous book and its characters that I was having a hard time, letting them go for a little bit and focusing on this book. But after a few chapters, I did really start to fall in love with these characters too. To establish the validity of their relationship, Olive and Adam decide to meet up with each other once a week at the campus Starbucks for about 10 minutes. That's kind of minimal effort for fake dating, but okay. Over the course of these meetups that they have, they start to get to know each other and uncover each other's real personalities. I think this is one of the strengths of the book. I really enjoyed getting to know them and kind of uncovering the negative assumptions people have about them and revealing what their true character is underneath. So for example, Adam, people think of him as mean and grumpy and, overly into healthy foods or something. People think of him very negatively. He's kind of like the most evil professor on campus or something. But as we get to know him, we find out that he's actually really sweet. He's loyal, he's kind, he's generous. I don't know, he's a gentle giant, I guess. He is really tall, by the way. I didn't mention that, but he's They don't say how tall he is, but he's very, very tall. And for Olive's part, at the beginning, she kind of seems like a flighty, silly, and very poor student, and I can relate to the poor part because students don't have much money. At least not students that come from lower class backgrounds like she does and I did. And as we get to know Olive, though, we start to see that she's really kind, she's really intelligent, she's very ambitious, and I liked getting to know her reason behind researching pancreatic cancer. I mean, it's pretty sad, and I do also relate to her on that level of losing a parent and wishing you could do something to change the outcome for other people. I lost my dad when I was in college, and it wasn't from cancer, but it is something that I can definitely relate to and understand in Olive's character. Something that I wasn't expecting in The Love Hypothesis, but I was pleasantly surprised to find, is that Olive seems to be asexual, or on the asexual spectrum, rather. Over the course of the book, Olive makes a few comments about how she's never attracted to people, she never wants to date people. It's just not something she has much interest in. It isn't until later on in the book that she kind of explicitly tells someone about her experiences. She describes how she's never sexually attracted to someone until she's gotten to know them really well, until she's able to trust them and like them in some way. And to me, that makes it sound like she's probably demisexual. Demisexual people don't feel sexual attraction until they have an emotional bond with someone. She also says how, while she doesn't specifically want to have sex, she also doesn't want to not have sex, which again mirrors a lot of the experiences that asexual people have. They're not all necessarily sex repulsed, but asexual people tend to have a lower sex drive or just less of a desire to seek it out on their own, even if they actually enjoy it or want it for some other reason. For example, building an emotional connection with the person that they're with. So I really liked seeing the asexual representation here in The Love Hypothesis. I haven't read almost any. This might be the first work of fiction that I've read with an asexual character, at least as a main character. So I was really excited to see that, and I'd like to see more ace representation in future books. Another thing that The Love Hypothesis gets into is a Metoo situation. I'm not going to go into any details about that because I don't want there to be any spoilers. It does happen later on in the book, but there's a situation where one of our main characters faces sexual harassment, and it's a pretty horrible thing that this person says and does to the character. But I like how Ali Hazelwood really describes the aftermath of that, how the character goes through some self-doubt about whether they should tell anyone, whether anyone will believe it, whether she even should tell someone because it might ruin a relationship someone else has with someone else. It goes into a lot of really important questions, but I really like how everything is resolved at the end. I like how the sexual harasser is dealt with and the consequences that they face. And I really like how the person that they were afraid to tell reacts to it and believes them right away. I mentioned already that The Love Hypothesis is set in an academic setting. It's a PhD student and a professor at Stanford, and I really do like how academic this book is. I think it's something that a lot of graduate students can really relate to. Now, I never got a PhD. I got a master's degree, and I really enjoyed that experience. I can't really relate to the things that are specific to PhD students, but my younger sister, she is pursuing a PhD, and so this is part of why I wanted to read this book, is because I thought it would, have some insights into what my sister is going through as a PhD student. And I think if you are a PhD student, you would also love this book. One final thing I want to say about The Love Hypothesis is I love how meta it is. So this is a romance, and I like how Olive is also a fan of romances, whether that's rom-com movies or romance novels. And because of that, she has some awareness of different romance tropes. So I like how when she starts fake dating Adam, she talks about like this fake dating trope, and he's like, what are you talking about? What's a trope? What trope? And then later on, when they have to go to Boston, she says, oh no, I can't stay in a room with you. There'll be only one bed. It's the one bed trope. And he's like, what are you talking about? My reservation is for a double. So I think it was funny how that kept coming up about these different kind of like inside jokes about romance novels and the kinds of themes and situations you can expect to find in them. So I thought that was pretty fun, especially as someone who has started reading a lot of romances in the last couple of years. So all in all, The Love Hypothesis was really cute. Despite a kind of bumpy start, I ended up really loving these characters, the different themes in the book, the way everything worked out. I didn't mention, but I really liked how everything came together at the end. I feel like a lot of romances, it's just like, okay, they're finally together, now end. And there's not really any chance to enjoy the two characters finally being together, like for real. So in this one, I feel like there is just a little bit more to give us more closure and like a chance to process that they're together now. So I did like that. But yeah, it was really cute. I ended up really enjoying this novel, and I definitely want to read more from Ali Hazelwood in the future. This is her debut, but from what I understand, she has some works coming out in 2022 and beyond, so I can't wait for that. In the end, I gave The Love Hypothesis 4.5 stars. So I hope you enjoyed this review video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell for all of my latest videos. I make book review videos for each book that I finish, so my channel will have at least 1 or 2 book review videos every week. I'm also planning to start doing some other videos, so look out for additional fun content in the coming weeks. Thanks for watching. Bye!